Today, I want to talk to you about two early disruptors that helped to bring about the postmodern era. And I'm going to be talking today about the remote control and caller ID. These two instruments disrupted everything, and especially the management culture. Remember that the management culture works in a one-to-many environment. That was the essence of the modern era and the Industrial Revolution, all built on a top-down management system and a top-down way of dealing with its customers. You had no choice because you couldn't talk back to them, and it was very, very difficult. So let's start with the remote control. Jeff Jarvis, my old friend, was the original discoverer, if you will, about how the remote control was disrupting the high priests of the management culture. Because the remote control separated people from the television and gave them a way to change channels from the chair. You say, well, how is that disruptive? Well, it gutted the management culture because it gave people the opportunity to skip commercials. And believe me, when I did my research 20 some years ago about this, I discovered that the reason people skipped commercials is because they could. And they didn't want to receive all of that. So Madison Avenue had itself a big problem, and it still has, because it refuses to drift away from top-down management. But the remote control is going to continue disrupting things for these corporations, because the remote control is the device you use to interact with digital television. I mean, I'm already seeing signs of that. Progressive Insurance has an interactive ad that I've seen on Peacock. And this is just the beginning, because with that remote control, people can let the advertiser know what they think one way or the other. And hopefully this will lead to a much more advertising friendly postmodern era. We're in the dawn of interactive digital TV. And those who experiment with this are going to receive great rewards, and those who don't are going to be left behind. It's that simple. The remote control disrupted the power of the overseer, or the high priest, if you will. And that didn't sit well, and it doesn't sit well with the corporations of America, who are still operating as if we were in the modern era. But this second disruption, caller ID, has gutted the ability of these corporations to force themselves on you. And, I'm going to use as an example here today the difference between the company Affirm, which is an online bank, and Walmart. It's fascinating to me because Walmart lets you talk to the driver who's going to deliver your goods. That driver sends you text messages about replacements, and they ask for your approval of these replacements. So you are communicating back and forth on an equal plane with the company Walmart. And they're very, very smart to do this. And I got to tell you, yeah, there are problems once in a while, but generally speaking, I get all my groceries from Walmart. I'm on a fixed income. I live off of Social Security, so every penny counts. So I buy my groceries on Walmart, and they will send me text messages that I can respond to. That's interactivity on the digital scale. A firm, on the other hand, operates completely as a top-down corporation. A firm is an online bank, and I used to enjoy the fact that they would send me notices when I had a payment coming up. I thought that was really smart of them. But try to interact with a firm. You can't. You just can't. They and all corporations people, let me tell you, they don't want to talk to you. Why not? Because it's costly. And so they gut human beings who used to answer the phone and replace them with a wild, absolutely wild answering service that you have to navigate through multi-layers in order to get to anything. And they will always refer those calls to their app or their website because they want you interacting with them on their terms. And I want to interact with them on my terms. So a firm has lost its glow for me because of the way they treat people, via caller ID. So caller ID has been tremendously disruptive, and it's believe me, when you've got lots of bills and bill collectors after you, it's great because I don't have to answer their calls, especially with unsecured debt. This is a problem for the banking industry and will continue to be one until they get with the program of interactivity. I used to buy a lot of stuff on Affirm. I'm not going to anymore because I refuse to participate with their one-to-many communications insistence. So the remote control and caller ID were the early disruptors of modernism by essentially putting power in the hands of people. And power is something that I've talked to you about in the postmodern era. We are all connected horizontally, not top down or down up. We are connected horizontally, and we all are equal because what we are to the digital world is just a URL. It recognizes us just the same as it recognizes the URL of a corporation. They have no clout except what the modern era gave them, and that is going away, ladies and gentlemen. And I urge you to be aware of all of this because it's going to affect your life sooner or later. Of course, I could be wrong because I'm just a common Terry.